All right, and good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin. We've been talking about our weather impact alert for the rain threat for Saturday morning. This never did look like it was going to be a severe threat, so that just kind of take that out. What it always looked to be more of is a nuisance rain and maybe some isolated flooding. But now, as we're starting to get this system organized, some of the models have been backing off. Now, I don't think we're going to be completely dry by any means, but a lot of the models have started to back off on just how much rain we actually see tomorrow morning and into the afternoon. Let's take it step by step first, though. This is the system. The actual upper and surface level low are just to the north of Houston. You'll be able to see it on satellite in just a moment. We've had some very heavy rainfall. Now remember, this is a system that had been providing flooding type and significant flooding across parts of South Texas. Thankfully, not nearly as bad as it is now moving into East Texas nor western Louisiana. Did earlier have a tornado watch that was allowed to expire at 7 o'clock, and we are not expecting any additional severe weather as this system pushes to the east. So updating radar, last several hours going back to the afternoon, most of the rain has been kept just off to our west, so most of our viewing area has been dry. That has been the trend on the model, so that is at least what the models have been saying. Here's what's going on, though. Here is the surface level low that you can really clearly see on satellite. What you'll also see is a lack of clouds. This is drier air. Models don't always do, actually I should say rarely do, a fairly decent job with how dry air plays a significant role in rainfall. Think about when we talk about the tropics all the time and how this kills tropical storms and hurricanes. Well, it can kill rainfall. As we go through the night and certainly into tomorrow, it'll be really interesting to see exactly how that dry air plays. As we go through the evening and night, not expecting much. There are some thunderstorms offshore. You can see what I've got the lightning indication here. We'll see what those do as they try and move northward. But again, model trend has been for a lot of those to weaken. At the moment, overcast skies, almost looks like a little haze with the high humidity at 81% right now. Winds are still pretty brisk. Now, they have been settling a bit through the day, but we'll see a little bit of a breeze tomorrow, not as windy as it was during the day today. Again, those winds will continue to diminish. Today's high briefly got up to 80 degrees. Generally, we've been in the 70s, and we're in the 70s outside right now. So with that upper low and plenty of moisture in the atmosphere, I do think we are going to see some rain. Exactly how much is a little bit more complicated with now that dry air playing a bigger role. Winds are still breezy. We saw more wind gusts up to about 30 miles an hour during the day today. They've started to slacken, and our wind gust forecast through the day tomorrow, not nearly as strong, maybe about 25 or so miles an hour, and the sustained winds tomorrow won't be nearly as strong either. So more of a breezy day, and of course those scattered showers. You can clearly see on our water vapor imagery here, though, the dry air that is being entrained on the western side, southern, and now kind of getting right into the center of this upper level low. At the moment, plenty of moisture south of our coast, but there's also some dry air that'll be moving in right behind it. So what does that do to the rainfall? Well, one of our models now, as of this afternoon, it has started to back off on the rainfall. This morning, it was still showing plenty of rain during the morning hours. We will see what the forecast looks like and where the rain is setting up late tonight and more so early tomorrow morning. Now, this model, again, the bulk of that rainfall that is out to our west may start evaporating with that dry air. And so this model really weakens any rainfall overnight and early tomorrow morning. This is now 6:30 tomorrow morning. As we go through those mid-morning and then into the early afternoon, not much rain. We have a complex of storms offshore. You've got another area that is just up to our north. Is this exactly going to be what the forecast looks like tomorrow? No, but it's interesting that it really does back off on just how much rain we see across southeast Louisiana. Going later into the evening and night, it definitely looks like we're going to see a drying trend, which will trend for a nicer evening and night. So if you have outdoor plans or anything to do later in the night, I don't think we'll have any rain concerns. And we're going to Sunday. Sunday looking mostly dry. We'll still keep that southerly wind in place and maybe a stray sprinkle or two. More sunshine probably getting us into the mid-80s. Then we're going to focus on Monday. As we look into the early morning hours of Monday, a cold front starts to approach. That'll send in some possibly severe storms to begin our Monday. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Here's another look at another model. This is our high resolution HRRR model, high resolution rapid refresh. This model, though, always tends to be a little bit more aggressive. Notice it has some spotty thunderstorms at the current time, and we don't have any rainfall around us. So keep that in mind. It has quite a bit more to start the day tomorrow morning, and it does have more development of showers and heavier thunderstorms during those midday and afternoon hours. So I can't rule it out completely. The trend of the models right now is maybe a little bit drier. Some organizations may be thinking we jumped the gun. Look, the forecast was always and had been consistently calling for rainfall. It is really just in the day today that we started to see that dry air kind of getting mixed into the forecast. We will see what happens, but it does look like certainly less coverage from the rain. And I don't want to rule out any showers or even rule out even heavy downpours, because that is all still possible. We've got the upper level and surface low, and there is still plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. If that dry air gets shunted one way or the other, we still could have plenty of rainfall. Now, as far as severe weather goes through tomorrow morning, the risk of anything severe, limited, and mainly out to our west. Perhaps parts of western Tangipahoa Parish, Terrebonne Parish, but that would be it. And even that is a fairly low threat. The main concern would be any isolated downpours providing for some decent rainfall amount in a short period of time where some street flooding would be possible. Overall, though, the model's not calling for a great deal. We can handle this through the course of the day. About an inch or less, we can handle. It's when we get any isolated downpours. So the threat level will be during the morning into the afternoon. Just realizing I put 3 O's in noon. Several rounds of some showers. Again, it'll be more complex of rain showers pushing through as opposed to just a shield of rain moving our way or a line of storms moving our way. We could still see a few downpours. Again, low end threat for some isolated flooding means it's possible, not a guarantee. Have the rain gear handy during the day. Watch for flooded roads and have the WW app, because we will notify you if we're getting any reports of flooded roadways. So this is our first upper disturbance moving by. Again, we've got the rainfall scattered in nature during our Saturday. Then we're going to be watching for kind of a weak upper level trough that'll bring in the rainfall on Monday morning. I show you the upper atmosphere because I just want to highlight this isn't a very vigorous upper level disturbance. With that said, there is a slight risk, level 2 across the plains tomorrow. As that line starts pushing farther south, Sunday's risk is a little bit more elevated, a level 3, again, parts of the plains, Ohio Valley, and deep south. As we head into Monday, when the front is expected to get here, we could be placed under a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe storms. And note, it doesn't include southwestern Louisiana. And if you'd looked at our model a moment ago, the line itself off to the west was much, much weaker. We may not get much rain out of that line as it approaches. Here's the cold front. Sunday night, it is still well up to our north. Monday early morning is when we begin to see some rainfall moving across the North Shore. Continuing through the early morning hours around drive time, we've got some thunderstorms and could be heavy at times. And then as we go through about the noon hour, beginning to wrap up early afternoon, they are gone. This front, though, will bring with it some slightly less humid air. And so Tuesday is actually looking pretty nice. We'll keep our rain chances at around 60%. As I kind of reanalyze the models, I might even decrease our rain chance for tomorrow, only because it does look like at least the model trends have been a little bit drier. Keep in mind, this has been a consistent trend all week, but as the system is now getting better organized, the models are starting to downplay the rainfall. We will see. It's going to be a warm, humid day on Sunday regardless. We'll have that chance of storms Monday morning. Second half of the day, afternoon, we start to get into some slightly less humid air. and maybe a little bit more of a severe weather threat for Monday morning. Great weather on Tuesday, first day of April, little less humid, not exactly cooler. Cold fronts are going to be less and less frequent this time of the year, and they're not nearly as strong because by Wednesday we're right back mid-80s and a muggy feel. I'm reserving the muggy terminology when our dew points start getting back into the upper 60s, 70s, and that definitely looks likely Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So to kind of reiterate, we're still looking at our rain chance for tomorrow. Never did appear like it was going to be a complete washout, but even those scattered and more numerous thunderstorms we were anticipating may be a little bit more isolated in nature. So I might even downplay the rain coverage chance to around 40-50% for tomorrow. As that moves out, the evening will be dry. We're dry on Sunday and could see some morning storms on Monday. Remember, we're going to have a complete look at the forecast after March Madness later on tonight on WWL Louisiana. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.